Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today we got a brand new archetype of Alliance Insight. Say hello to Regenesis. This is a brand new, weird, strange archetype revolving around warriors, spellcasters, fiends, and illusion monsters. So let's just get straight into this. These cards look interesting. We'll see how they go. So first, we have Regenesis Warrior. Bichette, Bichette. It's a level 7 Fire Warrior effect monster, 2500 attack, 2500 defense. You only spell summon this card with the first effect of this card's name once a turn. You only use the second and third effect of this card's name will return. If you control monsters who has an original attack of 2500 attack or defense, you can spell summon this card from your hand. I don't like that it has to be specifically originally 2500 attack, but whatever. Second effect, quick effect. Contribute this card. Target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So it's a quick effect. Tribute itself to compulse an opponent's monster. Then during your opponent's end phase, if this card is sent to graveyard there this turn, add this card to hand. Now that's actually a pretty solid effect. So basically, if this card is sent to graveyard by any means, by destroyed by battle, if it's destroyed by card effects, if it uses its own effect to tribute itself to bounce a card, then it will return to the hand during the end phase. That effect I actually do like. The only effect I don't like about this card, it requires a 2500 original attack or defense on field. Now, I bet there's ways to get around that. There's plenty of monsters with 2500 attack or defense from the extra deck or main deck. It just feels like if you can't establish a body, then these cards are just dead in hand. Next, we have Regenesis Sage Shermont. This is a 2500 water spellcaster, level 7. You can only spell some of this card's name once a turn. You can only use the second and third effect of this game once a turn. If you control a monster with 2500 original attack and defense on the field, spell summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a card effect, quick effect, send one of a Regenesis card from your hand or face up field to graveyard and get the activation. You need to destroy that card. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it's sent there this turn, add it to the hand. So same effect as the last one. It requires a monster with 2500 attack, original attack, or defense on field. Then it's a quick effect to send one other Regenesis from your hand or field to grave to negate and destroy a card, which is pretty awesome. So it's negate and destroy for monsters. Oh no, just negate and destroy for cards. That's actually really insane. If this card leaves the field by any means, who cares? End phase of your opponent's turn, add it back to hand. Really solid effect. Now we have Regenesis Dragon Valkyria. This is a level 8 dragon effect monster, 2500 attack, 2500 defense. You can only special this card if you control 2500 attack and defense monster. Quick effect, tribute this card to target one spell or trap your opponent controls, banish it. I do like that. It's a quick effect banish for spells and traps. And then, of course, end phase, it adds itself back to hand during your opponent's turn. During the end phase. We also have Regenesis Archfiend Bemirabor. It's a level 8 Earth Fiend effect monster, 2500 attack, 2500 defense. Actually, these are both level 8s. So I guess the other ones are level 7s. These are level 8s. This card can only be spell summoned by revealing one monster in your hand with 2500 attack or defense. This I already like better than the other ones because it just says reveal a 2500 from hand, special summon it. So if you're playing a whole host of these guys, you could reveal this in hand, special summon it. Then you can special summon the other ones from hand because this guy has 2525. This card is normal to special summon, add one Regenesis card from your deck to hand, which is already insane. So it's also the searcher. So this is the starter for deck. So you want to do is have this or another Regenesis monster in your hand. Reveal this and the other one. Spell summon out this one. Then spell summon, search which one you don't have. Spell summon out the ones you do have now. And then proceed from there. And then, of course, during the end phase, this card is sent to graveyard because it was sent there this turn, add it to hand. Not a bad effect at all. And then finally, you have Regenesis God Demutorian. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It's just Regenesis God. It's a level 10 light illusion monster. 25/25. Can't be normal summon / sets. Must be spell summoned from hand by banishing one Face-up monster you control with 2500 attack, original attack and defense. You can only spell summon one Regenesis God of Destruction once a turn this way. And this card spell summon, set with Genesis spell trap directly from the deck. Gains 2500 attack during the battle phase only. And this card attacks the defensive position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. I don't like that it says banish the spells and stuff. It has to banish a monster on field with 2500 attack or defense, meaning you have to banish one of your main monsters, and I won't come back because they only come back from the graveyard. I don't like that, but it is just setting a spell trap directly from deck. And then it comes a 5,000 piercing damage monster. That's cool. I just don't know how relevant that is. Next we have Regenesis. This is the normal spell card. Take one Regenesis monster from your deck, either add it to hand or send it to graveyard. Or if you control Regenesis monster, you could add one monster with 2500 attack or defense from your deck to hand instead. So this card's basically say, hey, I'm either an add or a foolish burial of Regenesis monsters. However, if you already control a Regenesis monster, instead of adding a Regenesis, you can add any monster with 2500 attack or defense from your deck instead. This has applications probably in a whole host of decks. We'll just have to see. I don't know how many monsters that have 2500 attack or defense. The only one I can think of is like Layer of Darkness, Diabolos. I think he has like 2500 defense or 2500 attack. No, he has 3000 defense. I think he has 2500 defense. 3000 attack, 2500 defense, I think. That's the only thing I can think of at the top of my head. Or maybe something like the Odd Eyes monsters. But that's all I can think of. This card is in your graveyard, except the turn is set there. You can banish it. The target one Regenesis monster in your graveyard. Spell summon it. So it's also a reborn from the grave. Not bad. Next, we have Torah for Regenesis. A quick play spell. You can only use the first and second red discard's name once a turn. You can't spell summon for the Rector deck until the end of the next turn. After this card was solved, also spell summon Regenesis monsters from your deck, but send it to the graveyard during your opponent's end phase. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent there. Banish this card from your graveyard. Target one of your banished Regenesis monsters. Spell summon it. Cool. And Tori is the name of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible and the Christian circles as the 5 books of Moses. Really interesting. Next, we have a new Regenesis Birth. It's a continuous trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name on return. Send one Regenesis monster from your deck to graveyard. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Changes the face down in the defense position. During your opponent's turn, you can send this face-up card from the spell trap zone. Spell summon as many Regenesis monsters with different names as possible from your hand, graveyard, or banishment, but send them to the graveyard during the end phase. Now, this is actually what I really like. So this actually pays the cost for the god, Regenesis god. So what you can do is you can, if you have Bertament and some other Regenesis monster, you can go Bertament, spell summon itself by revealing any of them. Let's say Saga. Then you spell summon out both because Baphomet will spell summon itself. Then because you control 2500, you have Saga alive now. You also can now search the god. You then can spell summon God by banishing the Baphomet because it doesn't do anything on field. It's just a 2500 beat stick. Then the destruction or the god can then set these trap card directly from the deck. And then this trap card can revive everything once they're destroyed or leave the field, allowing you to then, during the end phase, just get them all back. Because, well, yeah, it doesn't matter to get all sent to graveyard because in the end phase, they'll just add themselves back from the graveyard. Overall, really cool archetype. Has some really cool implications in other decks. I don't like that this spell extra deck locks you, but I think that's prevented from being splashed as like the next Kashtira. I'm not sure where these cards will be seeing play. I really don't know. Again, at the top of my head, Odd Eyes. I think they have some 2500 monsters with attack and defense. That's really about it. And then like I said, I think Diabolos has 2500 attack. And that's really about it. I can't really think on the top of my head what other archetypes do. I know Block Dragon used to. I know Firewall Dragon has that. As for like actual other decks, I don't know. Beatrice used to have 2500 attack or defense. I did all I can think of. But that's all I got for y'all today. The Archfiends as well. I guess Archfiends can play these cards. And then Blue Eyes, of course, and things like that. You all tell me in the comments what you think. See y'all next one. Bye-bye.